Hello?
Yeah,
Um,
I think Satori disconnects.
okay.
But yeah, I
Yeah,
want to
so
hear.
yes. So we
But
talked.
let's give him a little time to come back.
Yes.
To
Okay.
Satori.
Yes. Because we need him. So the recorder is coming by default. I don't know why I have. What? You're only able to listen. That's nice. Just kidding. Okay, so let's wait for Sato. And Steph has his class, yes? So it seems that Stimmed is muted by default.
Hello?
And who is the moderator for the channel, he's asking. Does someone know?
About what?
Stimmed, his server is muted.
Oh.
Yeah. It's like server muted on his name. Okay, but let's talk very quickly.
Okay.
So I don't know how it works. I'm not a Discord professional.
Me neither. So what was the conversation with Letty?
Yeah, so we had several conversations last week, but one so I had this idea that I wanted to propose, and I started to share it with her, and I think Steph was there a little bit, about writing a book all together. I have a beautiful title if you want, but basically the idea would be to have like 8 chapters, and in the same times also have 8 interviews or even more, but to like create a kind of podcast or videos, whatever, but that is the base of the content of the chapter. and I came to so, and lately she was talking about the idea of having, one chapter per petal, which maybe probably is good, but I would, like deep into the petal in a more, or maybe related to one petal, because I think it could be written in a more practical way, like, for example, decentralized care, these kind of things. And I came to this idea because I was on this panel last week with Kevin from Gitcoin and this woman from Slack Foundation. Okay, so I was really freaking out because I didn't know what I was doing there, but I don't know why. The woman who organizing it, I met her in Paris, and she invited. I mean, no, I was part of the NIR conference, and I don't know why they were thinking. I mean, they were thinking about me for this event because it was about full regeneration, which is my other topic, and I felt stressed. But then I realized after the talk that actually my stress was also because it was also, like I'm kind of new in the field and blah blah blah. But my stress was also because I realized that I was really not talking the same language than them. That Kevin was talking like a geek, very, and very one unidimensional. This woman, she was talking like a woman from the corporate world and finance. And I was like, okay, it's not possible. We also need to bring, our view into this field, and not Kevin was, do you know his book on regeneration, on Refi? Do you know it? The
No,
Green Pill book.
right.
Have you heard about it?
No, not
Okay.
at all.
Okay, so Green Pill, he wrote a book with some drawings on it, and so yes, so this is the proposal. Would you be interested to have some kind of videos and a book that I think if we are a few of us within the group, we can, if and collaborate in writing the chapters, and we can collaborate with also external people, and then we have all this fractal ownership that allow us to collaborate, and then it's less like a guy with a star talking about his book who doesn't really say very interesting. I mean, it says interesting things, of course, but it's very one aspect of it. Do you understand? And so,
Yeah,
so it's like his talk about, what is sustainability in Web3, blah, blah, blah.
yeah, I think that's great. Great
Yes,
idea, and
yes.
would be nice to collaborate with it for sure.
And also to talk a bit louder. It's important for the diversity of the space, and it's important that people like us have also a voice in this space. And so we can have a chapter on peace, of course.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
uh,
Definitely, definitely.
and the value of peace, and but then have some interview some uh, strong people, specialists on it, or interview uh, military people. I mean, it could be interesting to have like something. Anyway, so so that's the idea. And then like having the video and the podcast would be nice. What do you think, Satori?
Sure.
Yeah, yeah. What was the title that you came up with? Well, for
So my
the.
title, I mean, it's a title I have already. For
Mhm.
I came a bit. I got it later before. It's decentralized desires.
Okay. Yeah. And
Nice.
did you already have the subtitles for the different chapters? Like
No,
the
so I
outline.
was thinking about it, but I didn't work seriously on it. But
But yeah, that'd be
sorry.
cool. But yeah, but like having a topic or a field where we kind of have different um like inputs, and then like
Yeah,
maybe whatever someone in the field or
exactly.
whatever
So
talk
I
about
can
it.
write a page. I can write a starting page on Notion to be modified. Like
Cool.
and just a few ideas of the name of people we would like to interview. And so if you look at the green pill thing from Gitcoin, Kevin, you're going to see that it looks a bit like a creative, cool thing. But then we can also, like maybe get a bit of funding to have like really a book. And I think if from a year from now, we can have like a serious, proper book that can bring a more sensitive vision in the space.
Yeah.
And we can invite, the people we want to invite to get this. And so it has to be informed in a, like if we talk about peace, we need to, it can be based on an interview, for example, of some peace people and a conversation about why the Web3 could bring something in terms of peace, and maybe design some very crazy ideas. I mean, anyway, so that's why. And decentralized care, for example, for me is or peer-to-peer care. It's something I was starting to think about, and and what are the common goods in Europe. I mean, it can be serious topic as well, and it can be mixed, but then we can use it in a more creative way. And then if we have a program of podcast or videos on YouTube, then we get the content out of the podcast, and because we have the fractal ownership, we can be a bit more respectful than people are usually, and say to people, okay, we have interviewing you, we're going to write a chapter, and you're going to be part of the ownership.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. So I'll write a first page, just draft, and then it can be a start, and we can talk with it. And that's exciting. And then you can think about video stuff.
Yeah.
And
amazing. So for the next video, Satori, what you propose is just to use the same that we have right now, but opposite. Okay.
Yeah.
Not new, not with a new input. You want to try a new input?
We could do new input.
The same one. Okay.
The same one, but I'm going to give you the input as well.
Okay.
And
from the people,
so you can do two different or whatever. But really, within the vacuum, your music was amazing. I mean, and the video was so beautiful. It was really super cool. And people really loved it, and they understood the mandala, and the music was so wow.
Nice.
Merci beaucoup.
Cool.
It was really amazing. I really loved it. And no, really. I mean, and I was so tired on Friday morning, and you never know, because you need to find the fruits, and you never know how they look, and there's a lot of uncertainty. And the music, and the tech guy, he had set up all the music and all this, and it was so good to listen to it. It made me feel so much better to be able to go on through my day.
Cool. Yeah, that's the aim.
Yes,
yeah, my pleasure.
Even the event as it. Okay, I forgot to tell you. This is why, because I'm thinking while I'm talking. This is why it's also. I'm looking for all this space, because it's hard. So one, and really, you're going to get, first, I'm really going to share the pictures tonight or tomorrow morning, and become very exhausted. But I wrote finally the text for Instagram. Merci. I mean, for the feedback on Instagram. But finally, after 1 week. So one idea that I had after that is to create a proper exhibition, like because I'm talking, and this, for example, is connecting to like this forest thing from within the vacuum, about so this philosopher Ernst Bloch, I don't know if you know about him, that he has described the fact that the triumph of rationality is the result, the outcome, not of the triumphant rationality, is not related to the philosopher of rationality, like Voltaire, for example, or Descartes, but to the invention of the bulb by Edison. Because he's talking about, the little corner in the house that makes you connect to your own imagination and connect to your inner self. And he's mentioning, for example, that he says, like, I'm translating from French now, that the relation to the, like peasants of the Middle Age who lives next to a forest, his relationship to his own inconscient, is totally different than today, because you go and you work in the forest in a space where it's all very, very, very dark. You think differently. So that's one aspect. I need to talk more. It's really, there's a lot of intermediary steps in all this thinking. But so the question so what I'm talking in another presentation, I was saying in this subject-object thing, is that you have a book of an architect researcher, and she's talking about the fact that modern architecture is about light everywhere. Before that, it was not light everywhere in architecture. And it's inspired by the sanatorium, because the tuberculosis people were thinking that because of light you can be cured, which is wrong. And what I'm connecting to is the fact that actually at the time of the modern architecture, it's also the invention of the X-ray. And it's also the time where doctors started to look at inside our body as object, even within our body, which is, an intermediary step to the fact that today our intimate data, like our heartbeat or our movement, or our promenade or anything, became data that are sold by, anybody else than us. So this question of, the physicality of the experience of the tech, the movement, the body, the embodiment, this is where I'm working all the time. And so there's all many different intermediary steps. And the thing it's really funny because you have this picture from like 1930 or something like that, and you see X-ray of human bodies in front of young ladies that are models. So you see young ladies in very short, with almost no clothes, like you could be in the 30s, like 100 years ago, and their X-ray next to them, So you can really see how much it's an object thing. You understand?
Yeah.
And so all these things and more that we can think of, it could be a bigger exhibition about the fact that light pollution is extending its definition to surveillance society, and what does that mean to be tracked as an experience, not ethically only. And then it definitely connects to this workshop about dance and digital identities that I would like to do, but let's say that it's further there. But it would, I wanted to say something else, but I forgot. Anyway, so that could be also a next step. But the step would be, to continue to make it look really nice, so I can have a dossier and we can send it and we can have it again, this project, a bit extended, and develop it.
Yeah. Definitely. And how are you connecting these topics with the thing of the mandala, the information expression, all of that?
Yeah. So I connected to the fact that there's so many references in this research that I wanted to be able to share this research. And so this was a way. And so sharing the research is also sharing the process. And it's also valuing the process. And then we engage this way the audience into the process, which means that, each lifetime of connection is part of the process, and it can be, registered somewhere. And this is, what is the art? it's not like it's the event, but it's in event if it's in connection with people and something is coming and leaving. You understand? So for now, the only way I connected it is the fact it's more on the content, on the the form, the shape. I don't know. You say it's more on the theory, on the fact. Okay, let's try. There's so many rich things around this project. How can we share it in a way to engage dialogue? And so if you think about engaging dialogue, then you think about valuing the process, and then you think about something that it's a world where we are all subject and not subject object again. So it's a way of putting into practice in the way we produce things part of the ideas of the project about what would be a world where we would be all subjects. And it started with the light. So maybe it's confusing. Tell me. And I
No,
don't know if
well,
you're
at the end, when you see all of these mandalas and shapes, they are light also. Like that's the concept of within the vacuum. Because from the darkness emerge the light, right? So it is
yes,
related from
but
that perspective. I don't know if it's the most
yes, I mean,
practical.
I did my project that I did this summer with Sebnem, this is an NFT. I'm talking exactly about the light. It was a way, and actually I really need also to share it because it was a tentative to position NFTs into a history of photography. So it's about relationship to light. But all my project is to value darkness, not light.
Exactly,
and actually, and the going from darkness to light, actually.
Yeah, and to be able to recognize and
Yes,
the relation
yeah. So it's not
between
from the
them.
darkness come light. It's
Well,
like
yeah, it's
going
like the
from
same.
one to the other.
Yeah,
But light is a tool for control, and I have been reading these things about that, and it's so true. It's so true. It's true. It's true when you see that people, are working at night, that people keep working. It's definitely a tool for control. That's super interesting. And when you work, especially from performing arts but from arts in general, when you work from the experience, you get different type of insights that when you are working only intellectually. And that's what I'm trying to do, is to share the insights from the experience, from this different way of looking at things. So
sure.
what I have in mind with that is to really, continue and grow and build an artistic project that makes sense, that can be presented in different places. If you are interested, that would be an art project and can grow. And in the same time, we have a Deb spirit in that, because the idea that, okay, the project is going to live time, and maybe one day it's not going to be fed so much and it's going to die. And so then the way we do the project is also a project. Yes, that's
Yeah, it is transformative. It's not static.
yes,
can't
and
be
being
can't be
able
a
to,
static.
yeah,
It will acquire different shapes and different ways of
yeah. But we
doing that.
need
Yeah,
if we go to, it's true that I would love to go to, like these standards of art. I mean, of this stuff, and then we come with a different way of talking, But we need to have like a beautiful. It has to be kind of beautiful, whatever. Or maybe not beautiful, whatever, and then we have, like, okay, if we invite everybody on Discord, but then we we need to make it as something special, because not everybody is on Discord.
Yeah.
So if we want to invite people in a geek environment, then we need to set it up. This is what I want to say, like to make it as something very special. and give some explanation. That's
Sure.
uh,
Specifically about mandalas and all that, you said, yeah.
but the mandalas are so beautiful by themselves. So I told people that it's going to be a software, that it's the first step, and all these kind of things. And
Sure.
But okay, so maybe I try to write a few things about all this, and I would love to get your feedback.
Yeah.
And why not to as you said before, why not make it part of your website? You know, like to have an extra section with when
Yes, so I
so
think
we can
yes,
use that. That
yes,
could be nice to have it, and from there, you know, like people can go to different spaces, like or Discord or I don't know, something like that.
yes, this space and the pictures and all these kind of things. Yes.
Yeah, and we can discuss there and have,
Okay.
you know, like little meetings and all that, maybe.
Okay. So I try something, and maybe if you know if I maybe if I feel lost again, I'm asking you again.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting because when we had that one talk within the vacuum with Imagine Station, I talk about the wheel of consciousness, and
Yeah.
then I forgot because we're talking about sleep and like Streamer D wasn't sleeping or something like that, and then that one chapter that I talk about is about like natural light. Like he went to like a cabin and he like took away all the artificial light, and it took him a week to like get back into like getting into a cycle of sleeping with the natural like light. Like waking up when the sun gets up and like just getting back into that. And he said like it was interesting like how that like affected him. And then he kind of if I remember it right, because I haven't read it in a long time, but he kind of goes into what you were talking about, Gene, about like um kind of the control aspect of artificial light, meaning you could extend the days that like people could be working and working in cities and working in factories and all this kind of stuff like that. But it is kind of
Yeah. No, it's there's a book about that. There's a book.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
need to share more about, because I also wrote some paper. One is in French, another one is in English, and it's like also messy, and I need to put them somewhere. So I was
Uh-huh.
thinking maybe to just copy the article and put them on Medium.
Okay.
Or
Yeah.
I should do it on Mirror, but it's on Mirror, if you are not,
Yeah.
if you don't have
Medium's better. Yeah.
Mirror is better, or
No, I
Medium?
said medium. Medium
Medium.
would be better.
And
Yeah.
Subtract? No, but I already have an account on Medium. I also have on Subtract. I don't know. I'm lost. Okay, Medium is better, yes, because Mirror is good if you want to sell a paper. So maybe Mirror, we can have a paper for Deb one day, or
Yeah.
Expression Peace can
But it's
have a
not
paper.
good to like other people to see it or to pass it around and like
Yeah,
people to
okay,
read
yeah,
it.
exactly.
Yeah. Medium's better for that. Totally.
Okay, so I'm going to do it on Medium. Thank you. I really need to push myself on all that. But I feel
Great.
so lost. And on the website, and so regarding Deb, about this idea of having like a kind of production interdisciplinary research art project, actually, I think it really works this way. And that would be working on this process stuff, and I
Mm-hmm.
think we should apply on NIR protocol to get some funding to work on that.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, sure. Yes, but we need to do the application if you can. It's too much for me. It's too much because I'm looking for a day job. um, it's too much. Okay. But no,
And
what I see is that I see more and more projects that look very similar. So this is why I'm like, okay, we really should do it.
Yeah.
yeah.
But kind of going back to the light pollution and then connecting it to like what me and within the vacuum, like it's like we'll play with like the forms of the word and like sounds, you know. And like that's
Yes,
because I keep on wanting going back to like the ripple and the semantics, right? And like how it kind of like we form it in this like line to make sense of it, but like the background and the atmosphere. That's why I like that one like spiral that you did and playing with that one. That one's cool.
that's super
But
cool.
yeah.
And maybe I can even, I did this kind of experience with another artist 10 years or 15 years ago. 15 years ago, I think, or 10 years ago, I don't know. So to me, when you say this, we're going to play with the semantic and all this, I'm like, oh, that's so much what I love that I want to do. So maybe that could be also one option, we can also,
Yeah.
we can have different things. And maybe if we have this big exhibition, we can have a performance that is a live performance where we are really working on this semantic thing and playing with the semantic and the shape and the sound. That could be a practice,
Yeah.
and this is why
Yeah.
if it can be a practice and we try to get by the practice we will probably find a way to perform it.
Yeah. And I think going back to all this kind of stuff, it goes back to like creating that like atmosphere. And I think you were like mentioning this, but like something about like having a corner of the house where you like I think within the vacuum was talking about like places where you like dream better. But like if you devote like a practice of holding the space and the relationship of like us and then keeping to that like the that creative space allows like the fermenting of the crystallization of like the idea, right? Because like right now it's murky, which I like murky, but to get it to communicate to others, right? And then I think too, like the experience is, this is what I refer to the disembodied poetics, but it's like stream of consciousness, like like within the vacuum, you perform music, so like you when you about to perform, it's like you just let go and like what happens happens, right? And that same kind of like jamming experience, like creating that like thing, I think is cool or
Yeah,
interesting.
especially that kind of music. Actually, that track on the video for the mandala
Uh-huh.
is a live performance. I just make it like right
Oh,
away
cool.
with and record it with the phone. So yeah, it's all like happening in the moment. Like it's super present.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
And
that.
that's another aspect to kind of maybe highlight because I read this article and it was like some like academic thing about NFTs, but one of the talks was about NFTs as now using time as like a art form or something like that. I don't know, but just that idea of like time playing with time, but like you did that performance kind of like, spontaneous, like what you said, and you recorded it, right? And later, I kind of do that same thing with playing with the visuals, right? Like I had this, and I kind of had an idea, but I just go into it, and I do the video how I feel like it feels, and then it kind of like happens, like those are like my favorite edits when they just kind of like fall into place. Um, and then what Gene did too, because you were like, I remember when you gave us that video of you showing it, and then like, anyways, it's just interesting, how even because what Gene was talking about too, like when I edit, I've been using some of your tracks to that one and another one that's instrumental frequently on video edits. So like I listen to it kind of like all day when I do it, right? And it's like it's good. Like you can keep on
It's
listening
taking you.
to it.
It's taking you to. It's moving you. I think that 444 track. It's on.
Yeah,
Well, it doesn't matter which. It was 432 hertz, but it doesn't matter. It's just the same. It gets more into your physical body. Like 440 goes more into the higher centers, like intellectual or but yeah, I think that has to do something with that, and also the time and the mantra that generates, the loops inside the
Yeah.
loops inside the loops. Is that so?
But
It
it
could
also
make
goes
you,
into like the symmetry of like also too of like what we're doing with the words and the visuals, right? Like because I
exactly.
loop them
It's the
and
same process.
I try to mimic this natural like respiratory thing in my visuals. If you notice,
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
you're
Of
breathing.
course.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like the flowing, like it's flowing and bubbling also,
yeah, yeah.
right? And
Bubbling. Yeah,
yeah, so no, I have to create more tracks like that,
yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
uh I have a few. Well, the first track of the album of the next EP is
Uh-huh.
a bit different because I'm using more like concrete música concreta, which
Hmm.
is I think a French invention actually. Like using just regular sounds, and turn it into something. Like use it for another purpose, for musical purpose, or just listen to it. But yeah, it's the same process. But the timing, around six, I think it's around 6 minutes. You get into a trance when you get, exposed to that kind of frequency, constant, like that flow. But it's really
Hmm.
cool because it sets you up in a beautiful place. Like that. It helps you to relax and to feel like more present. Like it relaxes you.
But
And
for
see,
the light pollution, I mean, I was talking about internal light pollution,
uh-huh.
physically and metaphorically. So, like the fact that what does it mean, the light pollution in the way you connect to yourself, when you don't. Anyway, so that's a digression.
Yeah. No, but there's like I was just gonna say there's like uh, an opposite of that, right? The noise pollution as well. Of like,
Yeah.
what? I noticed this like kind of weird. I spent like half a year in Florida, and it was not. I came back here to LA, and then the first couple like weeks, I stood awake because I didn't remember how like noisy like my neighborhood is. I was just
Mhm.
sitting there. I was like, has it always been this noisy? Like, oh my god, it was really like
Yeah,
a weird thing. Because I kind of like block it out. I guess I get used to it.
my
But
my
yeah.
regular, yeah, my
Well, no, what were you gonna
what
say? Go on.
no the my regular uh what I do is just go to the river and stay there, and it's it's like you get a lot of information from the whole spectrum of frequencies, like colors and shapes and the air and the water and the sound, and you get all of that information, you process it, and you coming up with this kind of crazy things. So I think it's just it is available for everybody, to get um into that position, like to be able to channeling the nature, which is obviously there for everybody. It's free, and I think also is the most luxurious thing in the world. To be able to stay like a lot of time in nature and be able to breathe that air. So it
Yeah. I
reestablish
think.
your connection. It reestablish your connection with Mother Earth also because uh it is like self recognition, like when
Yeah.
look, this is a living organism, and this living organism which contains me is not aware that I'm aware of her. So
Yeah. And I
like
think
you start, that relation. Go ahead.
too, I've been just thinking about it because like emphasizing like feedback loops or feedback, it
Mhm.
broadly, and I think that's what the dialogue is to like fight more for like the feedback of this kind of like I view it as the relationship to that like information, like information is like this network, and
Yeah.
it's kind of like the ideas, because every time I get into like that stream of consciousness, and I've said it several different times in several different ways, but it was like, you know, it's like, oh, how did like I'm receiving that idea instead of like creating it myself, like just like getting in tune with it more than like like that's like the honest experience of it, and those are the good ones, always the good ones.
Yeah, yeah. But also, like when you get there and you have, some people get obsessed with the fact that, the future, like you can visualize and you can create and all of that, but I don't believe it works that way necessarily. It's more like you
Mhm.
have all these infinite possibilities, and all of them want to be real, and you're the only one that who can you're the one here, like, so you can incarnate that possibility or not. So what happens that people started to look forward and forward, and the real life is happening, and they like get lost because they are losing
Yeah.
their own moment. The other time I was thinking about, like, what was the most important moment in my life, like, is this one. Yeah, I already said that. I think so, but yeah, it's that, like, it's just this moment, what is going on right now. So yeah. You know what I'm talking about.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's about that. I'm about to start a new day job actually tomorrow,
Oh, cool.
doing some
What are you going
presentations.
to do? What are you going to
Uh,
do?
design
Mhm.
designing for corporations, for evil corporations. No, no,
Oh no!
I'm
Yeah, I just
What kind of designs?
kidding. I'm
What's
just kidding.
what what kind of design?
Presentations and stuff like that. Yeah,
Okay, nice. Are you going to go
yeah.
into the corporation or you work from home?
I will work from home, but still, yeah. Well, it's just a way to get sustained.
Yeah,
yeah.
I understand
Yeah,
what you mean. I understand. So me, I'm looking for
it's
a job on in refi, basically in regener, because I've been a sustainability strategy consultant, blah blah blah, with also big corporations. So I mean, I really know. I've been to these meetings between really big companies, and I was working for oil and gas. You know,
mhm.
it's terrible. I really seen what does that mean to
Yeah.
greenwashing, all these kind of things. So strongly. But so that's why I've been into these conferences and doing all these things. It's also based on my previous experience on that. But I feel now that I can use the artistic research into regeneration, something, that it's easier maybe in Web3. So anyway, so I'm looking for this kind of job.
Yeah,
Uh,
I definitely gonna make an NFT of that file, of that track, to put it out there,
Yeah.
and maybe, what I will love to, like, some other, like a DJ can take parts, or the whole track, and make a remix, and
Hmm.
another, like,
but
I
how
think
can you
that's
make an NFT and have people that, at least two or three of at least the young one that were in the event to be part of this NFT while they don't have an electronic wallet?
um Well, without a wallet it's a bit difficult, right?
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
you need a wallet.
Okay, so we need to
That's
find. Okay, so it would be good to have an NFT, but we could maybe, we need to find how we do, marketing and, like some kind of, like use it in a way that people are interested to have next events.
Yeah.
That's,
and we also we can also have a regular platform, where people can download the digital file or something with something cool, and monetize that also. If you should,
can
like for
also
regulars.
print.
Mhm.
I also can make a nice print on a nice paper. It's like really cheap and sell it by mail.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, that'd be nice. That'd be nice. Yeah, and we can make it with all the inputs, and that would be a really good like
Yeah.
souvenir or present for it.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So
Um,
merci. So I hope I hope we talk again soon. And
Yeah.
merci beaucoup. And
Okay.
merci, Simmered. And
whenever you want.
someone can
Whenever you want.
unmute Simmered. Merci
Yeah.
beaucoup.
Oh
Okay,
yeah.
so I keep it in mind
That-
whenever I want. Can
Okay.
someone
Thank
unmute?
you guys.
In
Bye.
Asterix, you have this bard we cannot sing. You know these things in Asterix. You always have this character who is attached to a tree during the big dinner with a sanglier. No, can someone? So I feel that Steamert is like this. Can someone unmute him?
Oh no, he can't talk in this room for whatever reason. He, I actually mentioned this like the last time we were like almost all officially together and to Soul Sister. I said like he needs permission or something for his audio, and then, like it never happened. And like he showed me earlier today, and like I don't know what the issue is, but it says you don't have permission for the audio or something like that.
Someone
Weird.
told
Yeah.
him to quiet him.
So I'm like wondering, yeah, I don't know what happened, but yeah.
Okay, I thought that now we could unmute him. Okay.
That's why we went to the
I
peace
know.
world.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, okay.
Bye.
We'll keep up in the Imaginarium float.
Yes, okay.
Sure.
Merci,
Yeah, okay.
merci,
Cool.
merci.
Later.
Ciao,
Okay.
ciao.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.